Jay Hiv, Stretford, Paddock, that's Joe Smith. This is Paddock Live, and Manchester United are in the FAU Cup final for the first time in over a decade.
Hey, go on, lads.
Never mind the class of 92 or the class of 2011. It's the class of 2022. That's where it's happening. And that boy, Charlie McNeil, on fire with a brace against Wolves tonight. Alejandro Garnacho as well, the boy from Argentina with the other goal. I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing. Seriously, me and you were chatting before the game about the fact we've not been to an FAU Cup final for a long time. And a club like Manchester United, we've won the FAU Cup more times than any other club in its history. You know, you look at Busby Babes, you look at Fergie's fledglings, you look at the class of 2011. We've had some quality, legendary, I dare say, youth teams. The likes of Charlton, Edwards, Best, all those players, you know, Pogba, Lingard. And now you can add Morrison, and now you can add Tunnicliffe as well. Let's not forget Tunnicliffe, my favourite. And now you can add McNeil and Garnacho and Mainu to that. But they've got to the final, first final since 2000. Well, since 2011. Yeah. But other than that, we've not been to a lot of finals.
No, and you said about us,
2007. I think
you said about us having won the most of anyone. Chelsea second. They've been to 7 finals since we last went to one.
Yeah.
So they're in the other semi-final. I think they play either tomorrow or they certainly play soon. It's
and as far as I gather from the FA website as well, the final is at Old Trafford. The way they worked it. So yeah, I mean, let us know in the comments what you think about this.
Good stuff
it is good stuff. We've got a load of stories to get through, so we'll have a little chat about that. We are going to have a full update on that, a full review, academy review tomorrow with Dave Pritt. Dave Pritt and Alex Bagley at the game tonight, pressing it up in the old press box. You've probably seen on our socials. They're living their best life there. So we'll have a full update from Dave tomorrow. But in the meantime, get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about that. And also hit that like and that subscribe and that share button. We've got a few stories to get through. We've got a story about Robert Lewandowski. He's been linked with United. Could happen. Stranger things have happened. We'll have a little chat about that. We've also got who's back in training. United trio returns to training. So we'll be getting into that.
One of them's willing to get a new contract as well. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, about new contracts.
Can't get in the team, but he wants a new contract.
Yeah, that's how it works. Marcus Rashford, Macca had this in his news this morning, but we'll go over this, about him facing brutal England acts by Gareth Southgate. And also Brandon Williams has spilled the beans on his little moment with Christian Eriksen. Yeah, his little hug. So we'll get the full skinny on that one. So let us know about those stories. Let us know what you think about those stories, I should say. And anything else, just do get involved.
Know, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing it.
Also, we'll give you an update on the Real Madrid PSG game that is going on at the minute. It's now 2-1 to Real Madrid.
Is it? They're going to extra time.
Yes, it looks like Benzema has got the goal, but Modric with an amazing bit of skill apparently from everyone. This is what I'm seeing online. I've not actually got it up actually, but I will get it up in a minute. I'll try and get it on there.
Where are you getting that from then?
I'm getting it off Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the old Twitter. So yeah, let us know about any of those stories or what you think about any of those stories. We'll just briefly mention the FA Youth Cup, Joe. Yeah. As a United fan who cares about that sort of thing, what does it mean to you to see us back where we belong in the FA Youth Cup final? Because it has been a little while, hasn't it?
It's been ages, hasn't it? And it's just one of those things where you assume that United are doing better in that than they are. Because, you know, I don't watch every youth game. I keep an eye on it. I keep an eye on who's doing well and the results and where we're finishing the league. And I chat to Dave, who's a bit more, hands-on with that sort of stuff than I am. But you just assume, well, United are probably doing well. And they've not been doing very well in it. Like I said, it's been over a decade since they got to the final. Since they won it, not got to a final since. So it's just a bit poor, really, from United, a team that spends as much money and, actually does promote players from the academy into the first team. We've had plenty of players come through, probably more than Chelsea have had or City have had, or maybe not Villa, because obviously they won it last year, and they do promote youth occasionally. But we still get more players from our first team, and yet for some reason we can't win trophies at youth level, which is a bit odd to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the thing with it's easy to look at it and go, when you look at like young players coming through, you go, United have got youngsters in and around the first team, so why aren't we, like you said there, but quite often, if you look at historically, the teams that have won it haven't necessarily had a load of stars. They've had a lot of good players. They've had like 9 or 10 good players who've maybe gone on to professional careers. Whilst United tend to have 2 or 3 gems that are really good that get into in and around the first team. whereas some of the other players maybe not at the levels that you need to get to a
Yeah,
cup final.
and also I think when you have someone coming through and
3-1 to
it?
Real Madrid.
Fucking brilliant.
It's
Good
3-1 Benzema again.
with a hat trick.
I think that is. Yeah,
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah, he scored again.
ridiculous.
Sorry, we're just getting the update here with the. Because I've just got it here on my laptop. I know this isn't great viewing for you.
Yeah.
But I think it's
3-1.
3-1 to Real Madrid, which puts it
That's
at
ridiculous.
3-2 on aggregate, which means Paris Saint-Germain could be going out of the Champions League. Well, it looks like they are going out of the Champions
What
League.
minute was that goal in?
We're just watching.
We're just watching football. You can watch us watch football. It's a
Yeah.
lovely finish, by the way. I think at a certain point when you have a star that's coming through the academy team, like with Paul Pogba or more recently someone like Mason Greenwood,
Yeah.
the team almost becomes a vehicle for that player to excel.
And also, I think you're right. And also, I think when you look at Mason Greenwood, for example, I think I might be wrong. Getting involved in the comments, but I'm pretty sure he missed some of the youth games because he was playing for the first team.
Yeah, exactly. Some people who are 17 have been in the first team squad.
Marcus was in the first team when he could have been playing for the youth.
Yeah.
I think it was the same with Mason Greenwood. It's been the same with a couple of other players where you look at it and you go, okay, they're that good. We need them in the first team and actually need them rather than just giving them first team experience. So that can have an effect.
But this is great news, though. This is great news.
It is great. There's loads of people commenting about that goal.
Yeah.
Benzi Madness, says Jacob O.C. Joe's hair is looking straight out of a L'Oreal advert, says Tansha.
Shining today, innit? Bit of shine to it.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Garnacho a little bit?
Yeah, because he's had a bit of news, hasn't he? Alejandro Garnacho.
Who scored tonight?
Yeah, he did.
in that game.
He got the other goal, the one of the 3 goals we scored tonight. 2 by Charlie McNeil, 1 by Garnacho. He has done well this season, and he's been firing in goals. He's been putting in performances, and he's received a shock call up for Argentina and could be in line to feature alongside Lionel Messi, despite having never played a minute for United's first team. So yeah, I think he's been called up to a provisional squad. I think it is. So that doesn't mean he's in. It's like, obviously the provisional one, but then he could make the final squad. We'll have to wait and see.
I reckon there's something dodgy going on here.
Why did you say that?
And not to be like Mr. Skeptical, Mr. Whatever.
Mr. Cynical.
He's never played for Manchester United.
Right.
He's never even played for any Argentinian under 15, 16, 17, because he was playing for Spain until recently.
Yeah.
He declared for Spain and now he's playing for Argentina. Why on earth would he ever get a call-up? I know this is only the provisional squad, probably won't make the full squad, but how is that possible? How is this happening? It doesn't make any sense.
It says
to
here,
me.
we've got a quote from United Academy boss Nick Cox. He said, he's a talented boy. I think some of his performances have caught the eye. He's one of many talented boys we've got. We've been in constant dialogue with him about what he might do. This is pretty fresh news. He's yet to make a decision. I know he's proud of his heritage. He's proud of both countries. I think he's honoured that both countries have an interest in him. That's
There
the thing.
you go. That's why they're doing it.
Try and get him now.
There you go.
Because if they give him a call-up or they get him involved, they can get him playing for their country.
I knew there
rather
was
than
something going on
Spain,
here.
because
There you go.
they've obviously spotted him as a future potential star, which he is.
So he's obviously available to play for Spain or Argentina,
Yeah.
and Argentina want to go, oh, quick, get a call up for us.
Yeah.
That way you're locked in, you like it, we'll show you how good
It's
it
like
is.
what Ireland.
And if he turns out to be
well,
great,
I know Ireland
great.
didn't do it, but Declan Rice and Jack Grealish both
Yeah.
played for like Ireland at different levels, didn't they? And end up playing for England.
Yeah.
It can happen. I remember when I was in the World Cup in Brazil.
Who are you playing for?
No, I was watching Robin van Persie's
Are you
header.
watching it? Sorry.
Header against
Spain. One of my favourite goals of all time,
was
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
To be there for that. But Costa was getting absolutely hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Brazilian fan.
he played for Spain, didn't he? He declared for Spain.
Oh, yeah, for Spain.
Yeah, they had a chant that was a bit out of order, to be honest with you, about him because they hated him because he'd done the unthinkable and chosen not to play for Brazil, even though I think he's technically Brazilian.
I think he was
but
born
he's
in Brazil,
yeah. But he's got, he was eligible for Spain. Chose to play for Spain, I mean, each to their own, and they never forgave him, and they were buzzing the fact that he got battered in that World Cup. So yeah, that sounds like what it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bit of a let's try and get in there first.
But good on him, and good for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, if he...
I think he's got 5 goals in 5 matches and 3 assists as well in the FA Cup run. So he's obviously doing very well. So yeah, fair play to him, good stuff.
Fair play to him. We've actually got something else to talk about.
Have we?
Yes, some Manscaped stuff, I believe. We've got to talk about.
Perfect.
Yes.
What's your knob like, Jay? That's what I'm asking.
There we go. Nice and smooth. Hey, that's how it is.
That's what it's like, is it?
Spring has sprung,
Fucking hell.
and our friends at Manscaped have
Go on.
the best tools for some spring cleaning in your pants. Trust me.
Whose pants, though?
Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers this upcoming spring.
Yeah.
And I'm making all this up, I'm not reading it. Time to clear out that winter bush and join the other 4 million men who trust Manscaped trademarked. Use the code PADDOCKLIVE to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Because we all know, don't we, that, you know, you've got to look after yourself.
This
You've got to
spring
treat yourself
especially,
well.
Jay.
Spring the sprung.
Yeah, like when you think of spring, what do you think of? Your tulips. So that sort of thing. I don't think of tulips. I think of my poo lips. And I think of how freshly shaven they are by Manscaped's absolutely brilliant Lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah, and it's not
Front
just
and back.
It's not just the Lawnmower 4.0 you get, which if you got that would be more than enough.
Yeah.
Trust me. But
You'd be
you
happy
get
with that.
the care bundle, the ball care bundle,
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah.
So you get the weed whacker.
Yeah. Performance
You get,
package.
which is the ear and nose hair trimmer, which men of a certain age, including my own, may find useful.
I've had nose hair since I was like 15. It's horrible.
Have you? Really? Mine's only just blossomed.
Alright, mine has as well.
Blossomed in my
I ain't even got any yet.
So that's why I need the weed whacker. You get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. You get the Crop Reviver Toner. You don't want to mix them up. Just remember that. You also get the Performance Boxer Briefs with the anti-chafing technology. You also get the goodie bag to put them all in.
It's great.
I love that.
Travel
little
bag.
Travel bag.
So you can get off the coach looking like Kieran Tierney.
And don't forget as well, the Lawnmower 4.0 has got the skin-safe technology, anti-cut and nick, to get rid of all those little, like those little nicks and cuts you may get with other
nick
products.
technology.
Well, this is what this is about to stop that from happening. So make sure you are completing your grooming game this spring with the new Refined Cologne Signature Scent by Manscaped. This stuff is legit, and while have you smelling like royalty. Hopefully not Prince Andrew. If you purchase now, you will receive two free gifts, the Performance Boxer Briefs and Shed Travel Bag. What? Well, no one wants to smell like him, do they? Really?
No, they don't, Jay.
Do you know
but
what I
no
mean?
one really wants to talk about him either.
Oh, sorry. God forbid we talk about the...
Yeah.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. So you can smell and feel good this spring. So make sure you are checking the link out in the description. 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Right, shall we move on to other matters?
Jesus
Football.
Christmas.
Jesus Christmas.
Robert Lewandowski. A word, and I hate to say this about you,
Yes.
Jay, because you're one of the most eloquent, knowledgeable, intelligent men I know.
Thank you.
You struggle with his surname, don't you?
Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah.
But how do you pronounce it?
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
But you've said it 4 times tonight upstairs and got it wrong every time.
What
You said Wellandowski one time.
Lewandowski, that was a complete misspeak.
Yeah.
Misspoken.
So what's his name again? From the top.
Robert Lewandowski.
Brilliant.
Is that it?
That's spot on.
Lewandowski, yeah?
Yeah.
I have said it before. I don't know why I'm getting all confused.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about this story.
You're right, Jay.
Yeah.
What's happened, mate?
It's all happening, man.
Right, let me read
Madrid
this
game's
one. I'll read
popping
this
off.
one.
United are into the FA Youth Cup final. I'm a bit giddy about that because it's been such a horrible week.
Yeah.
And to see us in the Youth Cup final, because me and you were talking earlier, I didn't know we would beat Wolves tonight, and I was a little bit worried we wouldn't. But to see us get over the line, and like not get over the line, but beat them emphatically as well, 3-0, get to an FA Youth Cup final, it fills me full of hope for the future, and I've not had any hope for a little while. No. Anyway, sorry, go on, talk us through this.
United are readying a move for Robert Lewandowski. It says that Robert Lewandowski's contract at Bayern Munich expires in the summer 2023, and he's surprised that talks over a contract haven't begun. What do you make of this? Any chance? Do you think there's any chance that... Actually, before I say that, would you have him?
I would. Now, I know what you're going to say, Joseph, not just because we spoke about this earlier and you told me, but...
So cheers for cutting my argument in half before I even get a chance to say it.
But, no, I know the argument that everyone says about it. The only counter-argument to having the most prolific player on the planet in your team is his age. That is it. You're not going to go, well, I don't want him because he's too tall or because I can't pronounce his name when I'm drunk. That's not going to be a reason. No, I've not had a drink all week. I'm not joking, I've not had a drink since 2014. Which is amazing when you think about what's happened at United since that time.
Yeah, you stopped at the wrong time.
Yeah, that is unreal. And I stopped sniffing as well. That's even worse. Anyway.
That'll get you through now.
Probably a good job. I'll be dead now, won't I?
Yeah.
So people go, he's 33 years old. We've already done all this. We've got a 34-year-old striker who barely plays. We've got a 37-year-old who's, is even he's back now, I think, from Portugal with his hip. Is this the answer another mid-30-year-old player? But I would argue that the form he's in, he's on fire. He's still performing at his peak levels. how many other strikers out there are better than him right now?
Right now, none.
Right. So,
but we're not getting him right now. We're getting him in the summer for what, maybe 2-3 year contract.
Yeah.
Look at Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Very few strikers in the world were better than him last season, or the season before, the season before, the season before.
Yeah.
But the Premier League is a different beast completely.
Yeah.
And when you bring in a striker that is aging already into a more difficult league than they've ever played in, I think you start to see the worst of people.
Yeah.
We saw it with Cavani. We've seen it with just he physically can't hold up to the speed of the league, and also maybe that's just where he's at, physically anyway.
Yeah.
Ronaldo struggles to play and struggles to keep up with the speed of the league and hasn't scored many goals in the league whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think you get Lewandowski in, he's at his best, but 33 is when people start to not be at their best anymore.
Yeah.
So in 2 years' time, he's going to be worse than he is now, on shitloads of money, stopping someone younger coming through, and presumably scoring less goals than he ever has. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. He's a great player, but if we get the same thing we got out of Cavani or Ronaldo, we're just wasting time.
Yeah.
I want a striker that's going to be here for 5 years, for starters, and someone that can actually play every week.
Right, I hear all that. Right, there's some reservations I have about Lewandowski. One is I don't know if we can get him. I don't know if we're going to have Champions League football next season.
Yeah.
Which he ain't going to come to a team that's in Europa.
No.
Like you said, he's not got many miles left in the clock. He's not going to spend the autumn of his career playing against, I don't know, whoever. Midtjylland, yeah, or Dundee or whatever. He ain't going to do it. So there's that. But even if we can get him, the points you make are valid ones, and we have done this before. We've had all these stopgaps. Igalo, even Zlatan was a bit of a stopgap to a certain degree, even though we had him for a couple of seasons. But Igalo, Cavani, even Ronaldo, it's like, okay, we're always going to be a few years. He's not really, is it?
No.
And now it's like, okay, we're going to do it again. But he scored 42 goals so far this season. I mean...
Oh, Jay, it's amazing.
Like, when we got Cavani, he wasn't coming off the back of a season like this. Even Ronaldo wasn't coming off the back of a season like this. Those two, Cavani with his injuries and Ronaldo just in general, were sort of, the numbers were dwindling a little bit, where his aren't really. He still looks like he's as good as he was 3 or 4 years ago. So I just feel like it's slightly different this time around, because I feel like he's got more miles left in the clock than the others. I feel like if you could get him, you could get at least one good season out of him, and I think that season would be much better than other players we could get. And I think we need someone who can just fire us back to a title challenge, and I think he could do that.
I like all of that.
Yeah.
But I worry that, you get 1 or 2 good seasons out of him.
Yeah.
Which replace then 1 or 2 good seasons out of someone that might spend another 5 years here after that.
Yeah.
If we don't win the league in those 2 years, we then have to find another striker in 2 years that might not be ready yet. If we get a 23-year-old in now, in 2 years, they might be ready to be one of the best in the league for another 5 years. Lewandowski comes in, he's one of the best in the league now, but only for those 2 years.
Yeah.
And if we don't win the league title in that time, we're resetting the clock again, like we've done again and again and again. Since, when's the last time we bought a striker that was meant to start week in, week out, that was under 30? It was Zlatan, it was Van Persie, it was Ronaldo, it was Cavani, it was Igalo. I know we've got Martial, but he was brought in as a left winger. We haven't bought a young striker. Berbatov, how old was he? 29, 30 when we bought him? We haven't bought a striker in their early 20s that's meant to come in and start in 15 years.
Yeah.
At some point, we need to plan for the future. We're too short-term stopgappy with our strikers, and he'd just be another one. I like him. He's brilliant. He's the best player in the world. But it's not going to suit where Man United are now. He's not good enough to win us the league next year. And if he isn't, he's not worth it.
No, I do understand that. And I am a bit torn with this because I understand the arguments you make. And we have been sort of in this situation where we've had, so many stopgaps. You think, where's your line? We were saying a similar thing about Ronaldo, in terms of a positive. Oh, he's so good. It's Ronaldo. Oh, he still scored loads of goals last season. So I understand it. Part of me just feels like the state we're in, we're lucky if we get him. I feel a little bit like that. I know we shouldn't.
Does it not feel a bit like another one of those Woodward-style signings, though? Just get the biggest name possible.
A little bit. Let us know what you think in the comments. Would you have Lewandowski? Let us know what you think. So we can have. So let us know what you think. I've got some comments here. I think there's a bit of a debate going on of trying to compare him to other people that we've had. Also, someone else, Nick Albany, saying Pochettino about to bottle it again. By the way, we'll get into that in a minute.
It's hard to blame it on him, innit?
I think people will. Someone's mentioned RVP, but RVP was 29.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, he
yeah.
was there for 3 years. And then
Malak's just saying one last payday.
Yeah.
Jacob O.C. says, don't really want stopgaps.
No.
Aaron Shearer says, nah, need a young striker. Carl Davies says, we need to start building from the back for starters, then the midfield. Forward is the last thing we need. I don't know, bro.
No, I don't agree with that whatsoever. If Cavani's leaving, if Ronaldo leaves this summer, we have got precisely 0 strikers at Manchester United anymore. Because I can't see a world where Mason Greenwood plays again.
No.
Ronaldo could leave if we don't finish top 4. Cavani is leaving. We've got 0 strikers. Like, no one. So we have to get a striker this summer. We actually have to get, like, it's more important than the defence, I think. Midfield and striker, the most important positions for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we do need a striker. We probably do need someone who can come in and play a bit long term. I just feel like he's one of those players. I know what would happen. If he came, I'd be buzzing.
Oh, of course.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'd be like.
I'd love it.
I'd be buzzing, but I think, you know, if I'm being brutally honest, you do make a good point, and we can't argue too much about it because we have been sort of short-term FC for far too long with our strikers.
Yeah.
And you feel like we want a bit of a long-term, and like you say, you know, Mason Greenwood, who looks at that long-term option, obviously isn't anymore. Anthony Martial, who looked like a striker we're going to have for years, isn't anymore. Marcus Rashford, I don't know what's going on with him. There's been all sorts of rumours, including one that he's not even happy about, you know, his lot at Manchester United, he wants reassurances. So,
who was the last striker we brought in? Was it Tevez? It might be Tevez, you know.
The
last striker that's under 29 that was brought in to be a first-team striker at Man United. It actually might be Tevez in 2007.
I'd argue Lukaku.
Lukaku.
Yeah. But
there it is.
No, you're right.
But he's fucked off immediately
Yeah.
anyway. No, it was Lukaku, you're right.
Yeah.
But before that, it's Tevez.
I mean, even Lukaku, right? Yeah.
Which is mental.
Yeah. I mean, even Lukaku, and you know, you can say what you
him.
want, but it was like, oh yeah, he's going to be the answer.
Yeah.
He's going to be long term. And then it was like, well, it was either him or Morata. That's the only reason we got him, because those are the only 2 choices. Yeah. And it's like, did we even want him? What?
And just because Morata's shit, don't mean Lukaku's right for United.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, it's not worked out, we can get rid of Jose, get a new manager, and he doesn't rate him. Well, he didn't rate him at all, really, did he?
No.
So it's just like, we need a striker that can come in and play long term. We'll have to wait and see, to be honest with you. But at the minute, Lewandowski looks like he could be an option, but how likely that is.
And a lot of the big teams around Europe get most of their goals from wingers, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, it's only really Madrid and Bayern of the top teams. Like, Mbappe plays on the left or on the right, sometimes down the middle as well. But Liverpool get all their goals from the wings. City get all their goals from the wings.
Yeah.
PSG get most of their goals from the wings. Like, not many number 9s really are ruling the roost in Europe these days. So maybe it's not that important.
Yeah. Right, let's move on.
Go on. Speaking of number 9s, here we go.
Victor Osimhen.
Yes.
So there's reports of interest in Napoli striker. Reports from Italy state United have an interest in the striker. Also stating another player on United's list is Kane. Okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense that you know, these are on a list.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you reckon? Is he the answer? Is he the one you want?
Well,
I'm talking about Victor.
They say
I mean, this is a kid from, obviously, like, he's from Napoli. I think he's Nigerian, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at his record here. I'm just pulling it up. 11 goals in 23 games in all competitions. 7 in 18 in Serie A. You know, it's okay. He's 23.
Yeah, they spent big money on him, didn't they? They spent, I think, 60 million quid a couple of years ago on him. And it says there that the quote is, United are interested not yet at the negotiation stage, but at an exploratory phase because United will need a striker, and the Nigerian of Napoli could be the right profile. United have another name in mind, namely Harry Kane, so that's back to that point. But he's a good striker. He's one of those where I sort of couldn't believe he went for as much as he did a couple of years ago. Like when he was sold to Napoli, I think he was the biggest signing of that summer. 60 or 70 million euros, something ridiculous. And he's done all right. Like you said, he's done okay, but, you know, do we need someone more prolific than that?
Yeah.
Although, do you? Because look at, like, Jota at Liverpool, look at someone like that. Or, you know, Sterling goes to City and never scores and then scores loads. Mahrez and these players like Salah as well. You get these players who have never really been prolific, but you put them in the right system, just fucking score for fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe, you know, that's the sort of player he is, where if he fits to the United's new system, he'll score for fun. But what is our new system? Does anyone in the club even know what it's going to be next year? I don't know. I just don't really trust him to make a good signing, and I don't trust that, you know, who we're going to get is going to be the right person. Because why would you? just a bit downbeat at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I agree with everything you've just said there as well. It's just like you said, a bit downbeat.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many unknowns at the minute at Manchester United. It is very difficult to look forward and go, okay, this is the answer, or this player is going to fit in the system, like you just said. He's going to be the one that could come in and do what we need him to do. I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. And yeah, it is one of them where you're like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the manager. Let's see what happens with the system. Let's see what happens with other players as well. Does Marcus Rashford regain his form? Does Anthony Martial do a madness at Sevilla? And I know it's not like that, but score 15 goals between now and the end of the season. Where you go, actually, you've got to give him another chance. Do you know what I mean? Does Charlie McNeil score 10 goals in the FA Youth Cup final? And you go, do you know what? He's in the first team of the season. Who knows? So lots of ifs and buts and maybes. But as always, we'll keep you posted. Let us know what you think in the comments about any of those rumours. Is that it then? Yes. PSG are out. Real Madrid in the quarterfinals.
Really?
So Messi being knocked out. Let me just double check that, get that clarified. That's what everyone's saying.
That's bad, isn't it? That's really bad. 2-0 up on aggregate and you lose 3-2 with 3 goals in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's bad. That is shit from PSG. They have bottled it. Yeah. I'm not saying Poch has bottled it, but that team has bottled it. And he's going to be our manager next season. You know that for sure. He will be. He's going to be United's manager. And I won't be surprised if those rumours really start ramping up now they're out of that. Because I think the one thing that was holding back from United really going for Poch was the fact that he still had a tricky Champions League to try and win. They're going to win that league by a mile easy. I think they're 10 points plus clear. Yeah. I think we'll really start hearing Poch to United rumours. I reckon, actually, here's my prediction, there will be rumours in English newspapers tomorrow that United have upped their interest in Pochettino. I bet that starts tomorrow because of that result. United strike while the iron's hot as Poch gets dumped out of Champions League. I can see it already, Jay. It's coming in the morning.
I know. I mean, yeah, I think
they're gone.
Does this? Let us know what you think about it in the comments, right? Does this affect United and Pochettino, and whether you want Pochettino? Because it is another sort of criticism of him. Like I know he's been to a Champions League final in the past, but the sort of the benchmark for PSG was the Champions League. It wasn't. I know they didn't win the league last season, so they wanted to win the domestic league. But it is always about the Champions League for them. That's the one they want to do. I think they've been at one final under Tuchel. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't win it. So I think looking at it, go, okay, this is what we want to try and do. They've not done it this season. Is that failure for Poch, even if he wins the French league? Because Tuchel got sacked after winning the French league, didn't he? That's not like that is...
Laurent Blanc got sacked after winning 3 French leagues in a row.
It's not like they go, well, was it, who else was there? Unai Emery? Was he there? Was it Emery?
Yeah. Emery was there.
Yeah, so it's not like you go, well, that's it. No. You know, if you win the French league at PSG, you've smashed it. Yes, obviously it's a league and it matters, but they are so much about the Champions League. They didn't go out and get the likes of Donnarumma and
Wijnaldum
and
Hakimi,
Ramos,
Messi, fucking everyone.
To get the league back. They did it for Champions League. Yeah. They got those players because it's like, we are going to win the Champions League. People were saying in the summer, this is the best transfer window anyone has ever had. That's the way it was being touted. And when you looked at that list of players, it was hard to
they got them all for 60 million, didn't they? It was only Hakimi that they paid for.
Yeah, and you look at it, you go, that is an amazing array of players. Yeah. Like, that is elite. But then you look at it and you go, okay, you got to the last 16 in the Champions League.
And admittedly, they've had a tough draw, but they couldn't have really done any worse, could they?
We were watching upstairs before, and it looked like they were home and dry. Yeah. It did. They were pretty much, especially on the counter, giving Real Madrid a right headache, and you thought this is gonna be PSG's night, and I genuinely couldn't see any way that Real Madrid at that point we're gonna win the game, and obviously they have.
I don't know if it's the injuries catching up to him, but Neymar doesn't look half the player he did 2 or 3 years ago. Like his agility, his skillfulness, his energy, his intensity. I know he's obviously always a bit silky and a bit slow, but he'd have a gear that he'd switch to and go past people or dummy and go the other way. He just looks like he just looks so lazy now. Just jogging everywhere, always just jogging, dragging the ball with him. Like Mbappe's sprinting all the time. Neymar never gets out of second gear anymore. I wonder if he's just had too many injuries and he's fucked. But he just looks shit tonight. Like, he doesn't look like the player that you used to see 4 or 5 years ago at all. Anyway, they're out.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know whether it is with Neymar. I just wonder how many years you can spend in the French league at that age as well. Yeah. He's not like Mbappe. Obviously, he's in his early 20s. Looks like he's going to go. Well, definitely going to go with Madrid. Neymar's gone from Barcelona, from arguably the one of the best, if not the best, sort of front threes ever. One of them, anyway. And he's gone to PSG. and now he's season in, season out. Yeah, he's playing in the French league, not really doing that much in the Champions League in that one final, missing a lot of games for injury, and you just wonder, like, is he just stagnated now? Is he just sort of like?
I don't think he gives a fuck.
Yeah,
he's the most. I think he's been paid like 500 million quid in transfers.
Yeah.
I know obviously he hasn't been paid that, but some of that whole thing with his dad when Barca bought him, there's like 40 million quid that went to his dad.
Yeah.
He must have made hundreds of millions of pounds in a big fish in a small pond. Don't give a fuck. I don't think he's bothered anymore.
Do you not think?
Nah.
Do you think he's just sort of like
Save it for one more World Cup and then fuck off?
Yeah, I mean the thing with him as well, Neymar. I do feel like the World Cup is always going to be a priority for him.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the sort of the expectation and responsibility on him for that Brazil team is unreal.
Yeah.
I was all, like I said earlier, about being in Brazil for the 2010 World Cup, was it? 2014 World Cup, sorry. And literally every single advert, every single television programme on Brazilian telly, it was him and Pelé. They were constant. And it was obviously Pelé was just adulation and he's Pelé, but with Neymar, it was like they just looked at him and thought, he's the guy that's going to bring this World Cup home for us, obviously on home soil. Didn't happen, and I just feel like they've always looking at him going, can he do it? Because the Brazil team isn't even that amazing. This isn't a vintage Brazil team where you've got Rivaldo and Ronaldinho and R9 and Cafu and all them lot. This is a Brazil team where, you know, no disrespect to the guy, and I don't want to get into one. You know, you've got Fred starting for you every week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like...
Yeah, one of their better players.
Yeah, and it's like, is this a Brazil team where you got Richarlison gets a game?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In a vintage Brazil team, Richarlison doesn't even get on the bench.
No.
So it does seem to me like he's you know, the expectation and, like you say, the sort of attention is towards Brazil in the World Cup. Maybe that has sort of made him take his eye off the ball a little bit. I don't know. Get involved in the comments. Maybe we're being a little bit harsh. Benjamin Metier says, Poch is a serial choker. We don't need him. James O'Brien says, Neymar was different level in 2014 World Cup. Pity he broke his back. Yeah, he got injured, didn't he? And I remember when he got injured, there was like, you know, they were mourning. They were actually like in hysterics, as you can imagine how seriously they take it over there. And he was their best player.
Do you know? Anyway, no.
No, go on.
No, it's all right.
All right, then, okay. Let's move on.
Yes.
I don't know what you were going to say.
No.
United trio back in training.
Here we go.
Rafael Varane is back in training at Carrington ahead of Manchester United's Premier League game against Tottenham on Saturday. So Varane missed the derby. Obviously, he tested positive for COVID. And it looks like Varane and Cavani have returned to training ahead of the Spurs match. Ronaldo returned, but trained alone. So I don't know what you...
I bet that's his request, that.
I want to
Fuck
train on
these
my
lot.
own.
Not like
anything
anyone.
to do with these losers.
Yeah. Yeah, good to see. Good to see Varane back. Obviously missed the derby with COVID. Cavani, why would he not be training? No, you know, no offence to this article or whoever, but well, yeah, of course he's returned because he was training last week. Why would he not be training now? He's fit. He's ready to play. He just don't want to. So yeah, of course he's playing. And Ronaldo, yeah, he's got a hip flexor issue. Come back from that. I just want to see people fucking play. Do you know what? I just want everyone to just fuck off at the minute with the team. I just can't be arsed with them. It just pissed me off. It's just shit, innit? It just does my head in. Just fucking play. You earn so much money and you just can't be arsed. Watching them not be arsed to run about against City has really made me hate some of the players in this team. And I hate that because I'm very positive and I like to look on the bright side and all that, and I generally like the players. But just twice against Man City this season, they've been fully beaten mentally and they've given up twice. Absolutely disgusting. I can't even be arsed with them, to be honest.
No, I can't either. I know what you mean. It's one of those where you're just like, you're so angry and annoyed and just deflated after what you see.
Yeah,
it's just
fuck
like,
off.
especially when you're seeing it like, you know, the question marks aren't about the fitness, it's just their attitude.
Yeah.
Like, was there really an injury with Cavani, or did she just not want to play?
Don't know.
Even Ronaldo, it's like, had he spat his dummy out because he'd been told that he wasn't going to start? I mean, I don't know, it's speculation. Certainly the Cavani one does leave a bit of a sour taste in the mouth because the amount of games he's hardly played any.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've stood here and said, well, the club have got to look at themselves because we signed a player that had a bad injury record.
Yeah.
But even so, you expect him to play when he's been training all week, which is what Ralph Radnick said. He said he's done 3 training sessions. Hit that like button, give us a like, let us know what you think about the trio returning to training. Are you excited? Are you bothered? Do you care anymore? Or is it like you think we need him for the Spurs game? It's a big game. Rafael Varane, Edinson Cavani and Cristiano Ronaldo are 3 of our best players. And if they're all fit, you can argue, well, at least 2 of them start, don't they? Even Ronaldo and Varane, depending what system you play, maybe even Cavani as well if you wanted to go 2 up top. I think Cavani's a better option than Marcus Rashford or Anthony Elanga at the minute. But we'll have to wait and see. Let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Marcus Rashford, should we talk about him?
Yeah, why not? Let's talk about that. Marcus Rashford, the latest story on him is that he's facing brutal England axe by Gareth Southgate. Rashford could now be set to lose his place in the England squad as Gareth Southgate reportedly considers axing the Manchester United forward. It's not a massive surprise, this, is it?
Do you want to know something about Rashford in England? He has never been the first choice or player at any tournament for England, and I feel bad for him for that. But he wasn't the first name on the team sheet in 2018 for just form reasons. He barely played in the Euros because of injury. I feel bad for him the way that his form has matched up with tournaments for England. But he's just. Why is this a surprise?
There was
he's
a
barely
campaign,
played for United. He's been really bad.
2016, I think, he was playing well.
Yeah.
And Sterling wasn't. And then Marcus played well for England and scored for England, I think, against Costa Rica or something. And I remember there being a clamour for him to start, and he didn't. He got about. I remember against Iceland, he got 4 minutes, I think, when we were chasing a game, which was just ludicrous. But you're right, he never has. I mean,
just never got it together in a tournament, has he? No. And it's not brutal, is it? He's barely played for United because he's been really poor.
Scored, what is it?
5 goals, all as a sub. He's not really affected any games from the start. No. He doesn't get a game ahead of Anthony Elanga.
And he's fought to watch Marcus Rashford. If you watch him lately, he doesn't look great.
No.
I like Marcus Rashford, but I don't know. He's just I don't know what's going on at the minute. It's just everything about what's going on with Marcus Rashford. It just deflates me. Yeah. It does, because you've got these press briefings about he wants to show to the manager and all that sort of stuff. There was a few months ago, there was stories doing the rounds that he'd gone to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and hadn't got the help he wanted and all this, which I was a bit surprised at, because I always thought Marcus and Ole were close and there was a good relationship there. And I don't know, it just seems a little bit like everything's going wrong for all the wrong reasons. Well, players lose form. I get that. That can happen to anyone. But when you hear these stories, I don't know anyone who can watch the Marcus Rashford performances over the last sort of few months, and I'm someone who likes him, and think that they've been good enough for Manchester United. They haven't. If Marcus Rashford plays to the best of his ability, Anthony Elanga don't get near the team. No. He doesn't. No. I'll tell you what, Ralph Rangnick don't go into the derby playing midfielders up front if Marcus Rashford is playing as well as he can.
Yeah.
That's not even a consideration. No. You start Marcus Rashford. End of. Yeah. And that didn't happen because of Marcus Rashford's form. It's not a case of other players have been amazing. I think we've all got excited about Anthony Elanga, and rightly so, because he's such a, he's a breath of fresh air, he's a good player, he's all this and the other. But he's not at a level where you go, he's undroppable. He has to be in that team. No. He's forced his way in that team because, yes, he is good, but also because other players have dropped off, including Marcus Rashford. Yeah. Marcus Rashford's form's dropped off to the point where he's got that, and Elanga's got that, and it's got to the point where Elanga's the better option. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 starts in the last 11 Premier League games for United as well. So why would a player with those numbers be playing for the national team? They wouldn't, would they? Unless it's Argentina and they're trying to get him to play because they don't want him to play for Spain.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you just said there, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just one of those at the minute. I just feel like Marcus Rashford, we just need to see him back to his best. Namandeep Singh says, wrong, Jay, Rashford's got no ability. But he has, though, hasn't he? He scored 43 goals in 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that's not no ability. Like, yes, you can argue he's been out of form, and yes, you can argue even during those seasons, he didn't always put in performances that were good enough. But his numbers don't lie. He did score a lot of goals. He did get a lot of assists. He was productive, and there was important goals, the winner against PSG, 2 winners against PSG, don't forget. Last minute winner against, I think was it, Wolves. Goals that mattered. Even this season, he scored like last minute winner against West Ham. He's capable of getting a goal that you need, but his numbers have dropped, his performances have dropped, and that on a whole isn't good enough. But I'm not into this thing of he's never been good, because he has.
No,
he has been
silly.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The reason Marcus Rashford was a regular for Manchester United was because he was good enough. The reason that Marcus Rashford got into the England squad, because he was good enough. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Marcus Rashford wouldn't have been near, I mean, England doesn't give you the full sale, but he wouldn't have been near the amount of games and goals and assists he's been for Manchester United over the last 5 years if he'd been rubbish all that time.
Of course not.
So I'm not quite buying into that one, bro. Yeah. Jazz says, we can't be signing a manager that has bottled it with the best players in the world. Pochettino. Yeah, a lot of people talk about Pochettino. I mean,
it's hard though, isn't it? Because you look at, like, I'm not saying that Pochettino is anywhere near as good, but look at someone like Pep. He's bottled it with the best players in the world for the last 6 years at City. Like, it's not dead easy to win a Champions League. He's only had really... Were they still in it last year when he got there? They were, weren't they? So he's had 2 goes at it and not won it. Well, they hadn't won it any of the fucking 50 years before that either. I don't think it's that fair to say he's bottled it. Look at the history of PSG. The games against Barca, the games against United, the games. What was the other one where they've bottled it big? Tonight.
Yeah.
There's multiple games where they're in the lead and they lose, and that predates Pochettino. There's a problem there when you've got a shitload of mercenaries, like we said about Neymar before, playing for money and nothing else. That's going to happen. They don't have the guts and the care to win those big games, and I don't necessarily think you can blame the manager for that.
No,
Happened under Tuchel, and then he goes to Chelsea. They didn't bottle it. It wasn't the manager's fault, was it? Anyway.
I mean, you look at it and you go, like you just said there, is this Pochettino's, like, is it his tactics? Is it his motivation? Is that the problem there at that
Well, his tactics got him 2-0 up on aggregate.
Yeah.
Like, I just think they keep doing this. They did it under Tuchel. Who was the Barcelona one? Who was the manager for that?
Oh, where they was 6-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah, who was that? I don't know.
They were so lucky though, Barcelona.
They were lucky.
With some of those decisions. The penalty, I think, was Suarez one.
Yeah.
Which was never a penalty.
No chance.
It was just, honestly, it was just like,
awful,
we've got to get Barcelona over the line here.
Yeah.
This is a great story. I think it's not a great story because you're forcing this.
And they got knocked out the next round, didn't
I
they?
know. You've literally forced this comeback
Yeah.
with poor decisions to make it happen. And, you know, I'm not saying UEFA are corrupt towards Barcelona, but some of the decisions Barcelona have had over the years have been absolutely outrageous.
But UEFA are corrupt, provably.
Yeah.
And Barcelona seem to benefit from that.
Well, you look at it, like the Arsenal game, Van Persie gets sent off for shooting after the whistle's gone. I've never seen that before in my life, ever. Then you've got the one at Stamford Bridge, where it should have been a penalty. We all laugh at Chelsea, but that is blatantly a penalty against Barcelona.
Yeah.
And they don't get it. They just always seem, then you go back to the PSG game where they get penalties that they shouldn't be penalties. They always seem to get away with it, don't they? They always seem to get these, like, any sort of, not even a 50-50, a 70-30, they get the 30 in their favour. Do you know what I mean? It's always weird how it's this Barcelona favouritism that we've seen.
In 2009 and 2011, all them goals should have been disallowed.
Well, obviously, you know.
I can't remember why.
Etsu was offside in Rome.
Yeah, Messi used his hand instead of his head.
Yeah,
the hand
I
of
mean,
God.
did they get him disallowed though? No, because it's Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Should we talk about Luke Shaw?
Yeah, why not?
He's open to a new contract. Oh, is he? According to Jamie Jackson from The Guardian, Luke Shaw is open to signing a new deal. Do you know why, Jay? Because he's on 150 grand a week, which, if he signs a new contract, he'll either equal or further that money. He wouldn't get half of that at any other club in the world, and he doesn't get a game for Man United when Telles is fit. Of course he's willing to sign a new deal. Just loads more money that I would never get at any other club. Of course he is. I'm willing to sign a new deal at Manchester United. Like, is this... I don't understand this story. Are we meant to be happy? Are we meant to be excited by this? His current deal runs out next year. Right, option to extend for the year. So he's got 2 years left on his deal, basically, and he wants more money. His salary would be set to rise from 150 grand a week. Robertson at Liverpool's on 100 grand a week. Cancelo's apparently on around 70 grand a week. Like, he's on double the best left back in the league, or one of the best left backs in the league, and we're going to give him more money for having 2 good seasons in 8. Why would we do that? Like, this is the problem. Like, why are we doing that? We tried to replace him last season, and he happened to be good for 6 months because Telles turned up. But why would he deserve a contract extension or improvement? Does that make any sense whatsoever to you?
Not really. No, it doesn't, to be honest with you. I just feel like this is just indicative or typical of where Manchester United are at the minute. You've got a player who's, for me, having his worst season ever for United.
Including the year that he didn't play.
Yeah, he's been poor in so many games, and when he's been poor, he's been awful. He's had some good games, don't get me wrong, this season, but he's had some stinkers as well.
He's had some good games.
And, you know, I look at it and I go, now is not the time to be talking about a contract extension. You know, every story that comes out about United players at the minute, and I mean every single one, annoys me.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? I hear the stories about players messaging Rio, getting their agents to message Rio because he's been critical of him. You can't handle that. You shouldn't be wearing a shirt for Manchester United Football Club. Marcus Rashford, he's unhappy because he's not in the team. Why? All right, you're not happy he's not in the team, I get that. But he wants to consider his future. Just get back into the team. Play your way back in. No one's got an agenda against you. You play to the best of your ability. You're back in the team.
He probably gets a bit more leeway than some other players.
Now you've got this thing about, Edinson Cavani constantly doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Now Luke Shaw is open to signing a deal. Now, listen, it's not necessarily his fault. He's open to signing a new deal. You can't blame a player for wanting to stay at Manchester United.
Yeah.
But when you just see it now, at this time, a week after this Derby defeat, which is not even a week, 4 days, whatever it is, after this Derby defeat, where everyone's still smiling, and you're just seeing players that aren't really performing at levels they should be on big money already, and you see they're getting offered or they're ready to sign a new deal. It just feels like, as a club, maybe this isn't even aimed at Luke Shaw, really. It's not his fault.
I agree.
It's not, he wants to stay, he wants to sign a new deal. Why wouldn't he? I don't expect him to take a pay cut. But why as a club is this the way we're operating?
Yeah.
Why have you got those players? Like you say, the Scousers have got their players on a strict wage structure. Even City, you've got all that money. Like you say, Cancelo, easily one of the best fullbacks in the league, if not the world. He's on less than half of what Luke Shaw's on, because we sign these players and just keep bumping up all the time.
Yeah.
So every time Luke Shaw's, because he's been at the club since 2014, every time he signs a new deal, it'll be a bigger one than the previous one, because that's the way we do things. And I think that we need to start looking at the way this club is run, because this isn't just about Luke Shaw. It's not. We signed extension deals to the likes of Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, when they were surplus to requirements.
I mean, Eric Bailly last season.
Yeah.
Why is he signing
He
an
gets
extension?
a new deal. He's hardly played this season. He gets a new deal, then we have these briefings to the press that he wants to leave, almost as soon as he signed it. And now he's in a position where he's on a long-term contract on mega money, and you've got a disgruntled player on long-term deal who isn't going anywhere, no one's coming in for him, and he's just sat there earning a load of money unhappy. I mean, it's just madness. It makes no sense. Even like
shit, innit?
Jesse, Jesse doesn't want to be here, but he's still playing for us.
Yeah.
He's still playing for us. You've got Pogba who's going to leave in the summer against City, right? You've got Pogba who's going to leave in the summer, coming off, being replaced by Jesse who's going to leave in the summer.
Yeah.
That's where we're at as a football club. We've just got short-term players who are going to be here for another few months, replacing each other in a game where we're just getting our asses handed to us by our derby rivals. We need to start thinking about who wants to be at the club, whether they're good enough for Manchester United and what deals we're giving them, because we've wasted so much money. I know the Glazers are parasites, right? I get it. The Glazers are bleeding this club dry, but that doesn't mean that we should just waste loads of money on transfer, because, the Glazers take loads of money anyway. If we don't spend all this money there, then maybe we can spend some of it on better players. Yeah. I just feel like, at the minute, I don't know, maybe it's just my emotions getting the better of me because I'm still deflated after the weekend. But yeah, I just feel like, when you look at the deals that are going on and the attitude of a lot of players, and not just the attitude of a lot of players, the structure of the club or the lack of it, it's deflating, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Get into a couple of the comments.
Yeah.
Let me just. Going to wrap up soon. Just people still talking about Pochettino. Poch would be my second choice at 22. Just one final one. Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams.
This is a nice little story.
Yeah, he's explaining. You saw probably also the images of him kicking off with Christian Eriksen and realising it's Christian Eriksen and giving him a hug. He went to grab him when he fell to the floor and then give him a hug instead when he realised who it is. So he spoke about that. He's been talking about that moment. Sky Sports. He said it was just a moment that happens. It was just instinct. I got past him and I felt him pull me down. We were on the attack and I was really angry. So I was going to hold him, but I know what he's been through and it's incredible what he's done. He's back now and it's something special for him to be back on the pitch for himself and to be involved in that. I felt like he needed a hug.
It was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Slightly patronising.
I loved it. I thought it was like he snapped and then realised.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what?
Yeah, but then you think, but he's still being a dick. Like,
Nah, I love Brandon Williams.
No, Ian, Eriksen.
Oh, right. Sorry,
if someone pulls you down and he's fit enough to be on the pitch, fucking game
He did pull him down.
Yeah, don't be like, oh, you had
Sorry,
a
I thought you meant Brandon.
Nah, treat him like anyone else.
Nah, you don't
Hit him.
You can't do that.
No, I wouldn't. I think, you know what? I think Eriksen would want to be it.
No.
I think he's going, don't treat me different just because I did what I did.
Imagine if something happens to him. Like, Brandon Williams would go, and then next time Eriksen starts, looking ill.
I get it.
Yeah, Brandon Williams is never playing football again.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't, but let's not take the chance.
Hug him instead. What if you hug him too tight, Jay? He's not this fragile baby bird.
I know he's not.
He can play. Hit him.
Nah, man. I like Brandon Williams. He's rowdy. Do you know what I mean?
He's great. Yeah, that's what I like. I'm on his side.
But I like the way he handled himself. I thought he did the right thing.
Everyone the same.
Treat everyone the same.
If he's well enough to be on the pitch, he's well enough to get decked for pulling Brandon Williams down. That's what I say.
Okay then.
And I like Christian Eriksen. I'm on his side.
DB Keeper says, Jay, when will you and Joe join Steve on one of his marathon live shows? You can go and see Steve in a minute, actually. I think he's going live now if he's not done already. I don't know. He likes to do 3-hour ones and talking about all sorts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm 100% on that one. But
I heard he did one in the shower the other day. Is that true? Yeah. Apparently did a whole live stream while I was in the shower, running the bath and everything.
Really?
Just a rubber duck for modesty. Yeah. Because he was tired. He was like, I'll just take you in the shower with me. So go and check that out if you want to. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Again, check out manscaped.com. The link is in the description. That's not the one we wanted to put, but the Manscaped one. Link is in the description. Use the code, Jay.
Yes, the code is where is it? Is it Paddock
Paddock
Live?
Live.
Sorry, I don't know why I was looking at the screen for it when it's been the same code for the past 18 months.
Yeah.
Paddock Live is this code. You get 20% off and free shipping,
Yeah.
so make sure you are checking that out. Go and check him out on his socials as well, Joe Smith 93. You know it's family, Jay Motti. I'll be back in the morning outside Old Trafford with the news. We'll also have Dave Pritt on for the Academy review, so make sure you're checking out that. If you're not doing already, make sure you're hitting like, share, and subscribe. That's been Joe. I've been Jay. This has been Paddock Live. Thanks for watching.